Every day, just a little longer and every way.
Something like a roller coaster. No, that song's not on this album.
Hey. That Rave On's not on this album, Kev.
Isn't it?
No, it's on Buddy Holly.
Oh, okay. Forget Rave On. Don't talk about Rave On. Hang on. Let's get the track list.
Yeah, make sure.
Hang on.
I googled the album and it wasn't on there.
Zorro C64, Getting the Horse Epona, Gunship on the Amiga, Mario Pixel Art, and I Like Trains. Buddy Holly. Rock me, my baby.
Right, go.
Album.
It's a bit of a funny one, this, isn't it? Why did we choose to do this?
Because we want to review books and it takes time to read books. That's the main reason. Okay. But no, I mean, we planned this a long time ago, didn't we? But obviously, as this is a celebration of 2,000 subscribers, it's something different, isn't it? So that's what we want to do, something interesting and a real anomaly. Apart from Michael Jackson, I reckon this is the most conservative we've ever gone. This is normal music.
Yeah.
When we aren't taking the piss, obviously. This guy came from country music, and they still switched back, and it's this isn't prog. It's not conceptual. There is no attempt to do anything different. Some of this can be played on Fallout, the game. It is actually that era almost. Some of it has a little bit of a ooh stuff, which is very Fallout. But he did write his own songs. He even ditched his original producer and original record company because they were taking too much control, which was the traditional way. They'd say, right, well, you will do this. Here are you musicians. No, the bridge goes here. Don't come in the recording studio. Stay away. You're a pop star. He didn't do that. He left that Decca and went over and did something different. And that's really surprising coming from that era, 57, 58, 59. The myth is they were all chewed up and controlled by the suits. And then the Beatles came along and said, no. I mean, it's not, as with all those things, it's never that sudden, is it? So, this has got Oh Boy, this has got Not Fade Away, and That'll Be the Day. Were those the three songs you recognised?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other famous songs are on other albums. There are 3 albums, although there's been about 5,000 compilations and all just put the songs in a different order. Those are the actual albums. A bit like Hendrix, except Hendrix did a whole load of stuff that wasn't released. He's definitely one of those. He wrote that. I didn't know he wrote Not Fade Away.
Yeah, same here.
I knew the Stones didn't write it, but I assumed, well, if you'd asked me, I think maybe I would have thought maybe it's Bo Diddley, because that's the whole point. It sounds like a Bo Diddley. In spite of the extreme easiness, poppiness, if you like, of what he's doing, he's just really good at writing songs. I mean, Roy Orbison is a thing, but maybe we'll talk about that. Easy is as good as Chuck Berry and Bo Diddley and Little Richard and all that. I don't know. I think he's certainly more. There's more variation than Chuck Berry and Bo Diddley. Bo Diddley's songs are all "Hey Bo Diddley, Bo Diddley, Bo Diddley, go to Bo Diddley, go." So yeah, very good. I haven't got the album. It's not on Spotify, but we found out what the album was and we listened to it.
Yeah, there is a playlist on Spotify. Okay. So I think the thing about Buddy Holly is it can be both over-egged and underestimated at the same time. It's over-egged in the sense that you can say this is the beginning of something and therefore Buddy Holly did it. That's musicians writing their own music, which allowed musicians for a certain period of time to make lots and lots of money because they were getting writing credits. They were basically responsible for the album.
Yeah. And
people's income went like that.
Well, those 3 people are listed. They all write their own songs. And they all predate him.
Oh, right, okay. But this is sort of like often quoted. Well, this is what I mean, sort of like over-egged a little bit.
Yeah.
He's sort of like saying, "Oh, this paved the way for the Beatles." Yeah.
Because he was a huge influence on. It was John Lennon was a big Buddy Holly fan.
Yeah. Underestimated it in the sense that I don't think he did start that because, as you say, people came before him who wrote songs.
Yeah, but
but it is a marker of what is happening in the industry more than anything else. So the industry's changing, and this is Buddy Holly is making taking advantage of that a little bit. You know, he's a guy who can write catchy tunes.
Yes.
At least, you know, one per album, enough to sell albums, which means you can sell, you know, a lot of albums.
Minimum, yeah.
Yeah. And that's the great thing about Buddy Holly, really. I mean, artists write in their own, because, you know, I thought about this. You say, well, maybe it's a sort of like a specifically pop thing.
It's packaged in a certain, and he's white,
Yeah.
which helps. But the whole thing, wearing a suit on TV, that kind of.
Because obviously Duke Ellington had been writing, so the jazz scene, people have been writing stuff. Been writing stuff for years, and probably at a much higher standard or a much more artistic level sort of thing. So Duke tried to create big, almost like jazz symphonies and stuff like that. Gershwin as well was, you know, interested in that sort of thing. This is, we can write pop songs that we can sell on the radio, we can sell as singles, we can sell as, and we can, you know, I can write the song, and therefore
I'm the artist.
Yeah,
I'm an
royalties.
artist, not a package. Yeah. So the youth music, you know, these people have got money to spend and they don't do anything. Brilliant. And Chuck Berry obviously constantly talks about. Well, you will not find an interview with Chuck Berry where he doesn't talk about how much money he was making. Yes, rock and roll is about money, I'm afraid. Yes, but. Yeah, this is where you're right. This helps it get taken seriously, and not just be silly music for 13-year-olds. And that really, in the end, not the rest of it doesn't matter. They're just fantastic songs. He's just good at writing songs.
Yeah, I mean,
that's it.
It makes it very difficult to review the album because it's like, pretty
good songs,
a collection of pretty good songs. You know, it's no more than that really. There's nothing deep or
and if
anything can take away from it more than that.
You listen to Please Please Me. That's what they're trying to do. Exactly that. Yeah. Not Fade Away, I think, is the most important song on there. Obviously, That'll Be the Day, I assume, is the most famous. Yeah. I'm sure. I mean, even someone who's never heard music would know That'll Be the Day. They'll recognise it from something. But Not Fade Away, it's so rhythmic. It's like I said, it's like a Bo Diddley type thing, you know. But the way he played lead guitar, obviously, Bo Diddley was almost playing the drums on the guitar. Buddy Holly isn't doing that. You know, when he refused to use session musicians and moved and all that, one of the things was he played lead guitar himself, and it's the downstrokes. It's the no, you know, and everyone attributes that to the Ramones. How do you sound like that? Oh my God, no one ever sounded like that before playing straight ahead rock and roll. The Ramones are awesome, but they're not original. That's the whole idea, isn't it? And James Hetfield. I put James Hetfield here. Don't know who he is. Picked up the same thing, and it was amalgamated into metal. Downstrokes. It was probably Dave Mustaine, probably, but still. Yeah, so that there is actually really, really, really influential in all guitar music. He opened for Elvis and Bill Haley. Yeah, so this is really, really, this is not the vanguard of rock and roll. This is the mainstream. This is Sellout Man. It's safe, and he has glasses on, and he looks nerdy, so he's not dangerous to the children, etc. We say all that though, you know. The producer did have a co-writing credit. George Martin didn't get a co-writing credit, you know, and I bet we don't know. I don't know. Maybe someone who's an expert would know, but I'm sure George Martin contributed more than this guy. You know, George Martin actually wrote whole sections of music and performed on In My Life. You know, they had to speed it up, but you know, it's a second opinion thing, really, isn't it? You need, if you've got someone there to say, well, yeah, you know, don't go Peggy Sue, pretty Peggy Sue. Go Peggy Sue, pretty Peggy. Oh, that's good. You know.
That works better.
Yeah, and that's, you know, Dave Gilmour producing Roger Waters' songs. We don't really know how much, you know. Yes, okay, Roger wrote a song on an acoustic guitar, but it would have been crap if you know. So nobody knows. The riff to Enter Sandman. So it's Metallica again. What's his name? He replaced Dave Mustaine. What's his name?
Oh, the guitarist in Metallica.
Wah wah.
Yeah, what the hell's his name?
The Wah Man. The man with the wah wah and no interesting guitar playing. Kirk Hammett.
That's it.
He wrote Dananana, Dananana. So I think it was Lars said, "We'll just do it twice." And then you have a fantastic riff. You know. So who wrote it? Maybe. Who knows? We are treating this as an album, and it is 23 minutes long.
Yeah, which I was quite grateful for this morning.
That's handy, yeah.
I just listened to it twice.
Which is brilliant. It is so refreshing when you know I'm doing a Zappa binge at the moment, and some of his songs aren't long, but have lots in them, which is essentially the same thing. You know, it's got to be one or the other. It's an extreme. The songs are 1.5 minutes long, not 3 minutes 30. Oh, we've cut out the fat. It's the shortest. No, it isn't. And same with the Beatles. You know, some of those songs are so short.
Yeah.
You know, and Paul McCartney later on, all he just does it twice, so it's a bit of a longer song. I mean, you know, to us anyway. I mean, I don't know what people get in the US now with Beatles albums, but to us, Beatles albums, the early ones, were 30 minutes long, and I've always thought that was a bit of a rip-off. But in the US, what they did, they took the end few songs off the album, released that as an album, and then the leftover songs they can make another album with. Wow! So they must have been 20 minutes. So that must have been the length of a rock album, 20 minutes.
But that's one side of an LP, isn't it? Is this pre-LP?
These are LPs with 10 minutes on either side.
Jeepers creepers.
But if it's 5 songs is listed, it feels all right, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, brevity.
It's an important skill, and it's probably the Beatles' biggest skill was not thinking we've got to make this into 3 minutes when it's only a minute and a half.
Yeah. Yeah.
I sometimes think maybe, well, not musicians, writers think that. If you're writing something and it's not, let's say you write a chapter of a book and it's only like 1,200 words.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I've got to add more to this.
Yeah, it's not a chapter yet, although it's done what it needs to do in the chapter.
And actually, the most successful books and most successful things are short. So they're as long as they need to be and no longer. Yeah. Sort of thing. There's a certain elegance to it.
Yeah. I mean, it depends what you're doing, etc., etc. But yeah, obviously, you know, you don't just carry on for the sake of it. Well, do it again then. Play the chorus again. It's a good chorus. You can just play the track again. If you want. Recorded. Roy Orbison is around. Some of these songs were co-written by Roy Orbison.
Awesome.
Yeah. They're so different. That's so interesting. You know. Well, we all know who the better singer is, obviously. But I assume at the time Buddy Holly was far more successful very quickly. Remember, it was only 18 months worth of albums, and I think he was very successful. I know he was suddenly successful here, like instantly. I assume Roy Orbison had a slow climb. I would assume. Obviously, he's got his hook of his silly voice, you know, hey. Whereas obviously Roy Orbison is the proper singer. But it's interesting. I didn't know that that was his early studio, same studio with the same guy, and they were all co-writing stuff. And that's, you know.
Then is there a book about that studio?
There's bound to be
big names coming out of there, isn't there?
Yeah. I should look what the studio is called. Really, the Crickets. Oh yeah, it's the Crickets. It's only called the Crickets because he still had the recording deal with the record company he was originally with. Typically said, well, you haven't had a hit, so sorry, that's it now, cancelled. Oh, you can't record with anyone else. We own you, but you can't release anything for 5 years in your own name because we own you.
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
So that's why it's the Crickets, because he couldn't use his name. We own you.
Well, why wouldn't they just release him from the contract? It's just so ridiculous, isn't it? When you think about it, it's spiteful, is what it is.
It's about ownership, isn't it? We don't want you. We recognise you've got a talent, so we don't want you to take it away and go somewhere else. We've got to stop him.
But we're not going to use it.
Yeah, because we failed to market you properly. We don't want anyone else to do it.
I mean, you would have thought there'd be some deal in the industry in that scenario when you're not going to make another album with an artist who's under contract with you, that you'd let them make music with other labels, only you would expect like a percentage of the royalties or something like that.
So you're not allowed to make any music. I mean, it's really common. Dream Theater in the 90s, they had to just wait.
Bee Gees, wasn't that a situation with Bee Gees, which is why they ended up writing a lot of film music and stuff like that?
That could be true. Yeah, well, I'll be very wouldn't be surprised, because obviously they're 60s and they're all that stuff. And it's dead now. What a shame. The people defend it. I was so much better when there was a music industry. It wasn't. It was awful. It was evil, bad people taking all the money.
Yeah.
Now you can make more money without those people there. Good. Good. I mean, as a consumer, it means. Well, it actually means you've got choice, but with choice comes effort. That's the only problem. You have to trawl the internet to find stuff, rather than being told, these are the 10 things you're going to buy this week.
Oh, you're into rock, are you? Well, these are the sanctioned rock bands that you can listen to.
This is rock. Poison. And that really, really horrible band called... the people in the band are really famous. One of them's married to Pamela Anderson. And they're sort of held in esteem, but the band
wasn't in
sucks.
excess, was it?
No, I wouldn't even speak of them.
He's Australian.
Motley Crue.
Oh, that was it. Tommy something.
The other ones as well. And they're sort of, they've done tours with Ozzy and things like this, so they're just wild people making
long hair.
Yeah, boring music. Boring. It's very, very boring. Crap. Not like this, which is vibrant and definitive. It's like I said, it's not the vanguard or something. It's not like, well, this was the dawn of the new age in terms of the music. There was a dawn of the new age in a sense, in people finding it. If this was someone packaging it and selling what had already been done, but it's just really good.
Yeah.
I never found the name of the recording studio, did I? Is it Brunswick Records? It might be Brunswick Records. Mr. Petty. I wonder if Tom Petty is like his son or something.
Probably. Nepotism.
Yeah, so to egg this album is... is it 5 eggs? Probably. I know it's very good, so it's a 5 egg album. But and yet, doesn't it need depth to have 5 eggs? But if I give it 4 eggs, that means it's all right. But it isn't. It's brilliant. So
maybe you've got to review it on its own terms. It's not trying to be deep.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's just trying to be.
Well, on its own terms,
it's a mood changer, isn't it? It's sort of, you put it on. Wow, this is upbeat and nice and happy.
But it succeeds 100%.
Yeah.
But it can't be 6 because it doesn't do the magic.
Wow, I think for a 6 egg album, one of the minimum things it's got to do is make you want to put it on again. And I'm not.
Well, you listen to it twice.
Occasionally.
It's only 20 minutes, so that's once.
Occasionally I'll listen to Buddy Holly, but I'll pick tracks.
Well, exactly, yeah.
I'm not gonna.
That's maybe next week. That's what we should talk about. Is these are albums, and we should talk about them as albums, and we haven't really done that. It was impossible. It was just songs.
A collection of songs, number 1.
Interesting. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
See you. Hang on. Yeah, see you next week.